Everyone has thought about this at least once. If animals could talk, it'd be hilarious. Dogs would sweet-talk their owners like they're negotiating a lease renewal. Cats would condescend to us in full, perfectly punctuated sentences. Pigeons in the park would reveal themselves as a highly organized, bread-terrorizing crime syndicate. Sounds funny, but think about it for just 10 more seconds, and the funny starts to drain out. Because the moment the other side stops being silent, a lot of things humans do every single day will start to look not quite right. The world wouldn't just be louder, it would be a lot harder to live carelessly. At first, the chaos would be the funny kind. Your dog would expose every time you came home late. Your cat would need exactly one sentence to haunt you through to next Thursday. The park pigeons would call an emergency meeting about today's abnormally low carb intake. But even if we shared a language, truly understanding each other would still be a different matter entirely. Wittgenstein once had a brilliant insight. If a lion could speak, humans still might not understand it. Because the lion's world is built from scent, hunger, and movement through tall grass. And your world is built from deadlines, bills, and messages read and never replied to. A shared language doesn't automatically produce shared understanding. Sometimes, it only makes it more obvious that both sides are living in worlds that barely overlap. And from here, the story starts getting less funny, in a very uncomfortable way. Because maybe the issue was never that animals had nothing to say. The issue is that humans got so used to hearing their sounds, the way we hear rain on the window, the hum of an air conditioner, a layer of background noise that didn't need to be understood. But the other side was never necessarily empty. Imagine a dolphin swimming through a whole pod, emitting a specific sound that others instantly recognize, almost like a name. A crow perched on a utility pole, spotting the exact face of the person who wronged it years ago, then calling out, as if pointing a finger at exactly that one. An elephant standing beside the body of its young, lifting it one more time with its trunk, as if it still can't accept that the stillness is real. Those scenes don't need human subtitles to carry weight. They already do. So the question, do animals have anything to say, sounds a little naive. They always did. It's just that humans have a remarkably convenient habit. Any signal that doesn't resemble our own language gets automatically downgraded to background noise. As if we don't understand it, then the other side probably didn't have anything worth understanding anyway. And that's the first real gut punch. Maybe the frightening thing isn't the day animals suddenly learn to speak. Maybe it's this. They've been sending signals for a very long time already. And humans have just gotten comfortable living as though we weren't listening. And from here, the question is no longer, what would animals say? But rather, what if they spoke clearly enough that you could no longer pretend to misunderstand? At that point, a lot of things currently considered normal would start to vibrate. The meat industry is the most obvious example. You bite into a piece of fried chicken. The chicken looks you dead in the eyes and asks, "You sure about this?" That's funny for about 3 seconds, and then it isn't. Because the distance between "this is food" and "this is a creature asking to live" suddenly shrinks so fast your brain struggles to stay in its comfortable default state. Same with the zoo. You take your kids for a weekend outing. Everything looks fine, even kind of cute, until the tiger walks up to the bars, stares at the crowd outside, and asks, "Seen enough?" Just one line, and the whole scene changes color. The admission tickets, the gift shop, phones raised up, children laughing, all of it suddenly feels slightly wrong. Then the laboratory. When a creature in pain can articulate where it hurts, what it fears, and that it doesn't want this to continue, the psychological glass that helps humans stand at a safe distance from their own guilt gets noticeably thinner. What's the most uncomfortable part? It's very possible the world would continue doing most of the same things. Humans aren't famous for changing quickly when their interests, habits, and conveniences are threatened. But from that moment on, pretending not to know would no longer feel clean. And here's the part that makes all of this feel less like science fiction. In 2026, humans are still very far from having a real-time animal translation app. But what's worth noting is, we've started to stop treating their sounds as pure chaos. Models like NatureLM-audio are using AI to find structure in animal sounds. Google has DolphinGemma to support dolphin communication research. Project CETI is going deep on sperm whale signals, treating them not as scattered calls, but as a potentially complex system far beyond anything humans previously imagined. In other words, the door hasn't opened fully, but the handle has already turned. And that's the part that sends a chill. Because the moment a civilization realizes what it once called noise might actually be a signal, what's about to change isn't just science. It's the way humans justify themselves to themselves. So if animals could talk, yes, the world would definitely be noisier, more dramatic, more exhausting. Living with a pet might feel like a daily confrontation you never emotionally prepared for. But that's just the outermost layer. The much larger shift would happen inside the human mind, at the exact moment we could no longer maintain a safe distance from the lives of other creatures. And at that point, the only question left would be very simple. If the animal you love most could say one thing to you right now, would you actually want to hear all of it? Or would you only want it to say exactly what makes you feel okay?